Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today let's talk about toxicity and my personal experience with it in Overwatch competitive. Now in competitive Overwatch, I found things fun and lighthearted and really enjoyable. And then on the other end of the spectrum, I've also found things super intense, difficult, exhausting, even aggravating. And looking back on the times where I've actually been upset, I feel now that it's entirely my fault as how I was feeling. Players on my team could be irritating or bad or whatever, but it is still my active choice to maybe engage them on voice or even be just upset by them. And that has a huge impact on my gameplay, my mood, and also, well, my SR. I started out in this season, Season 7, having not played any Overwatch for well over a year. Last touched the game in Season 3 at latest. So yeah, coming back was pretty tough, but also a lot of fun. You know, a lot of the game has changed. I placed around 2,800 SR, which is on the higher end of Platinum, which, you know, I found fair enough since I had a lot to relearn. But turns out I actually had a lot more to learn than I thought, given that about 70% of my games were losses during that time, and I dropped down into low gold at my worst point. Now since then, I've actually climbed out of gold up to 2,600 SR twice. And I say twice because I actually fell back down out of plat into around 2,300 gold again. So how did I climb up without any boosts or any help from high skill players, but then drop back down so quickly and quite far too? Well, the answer was being toxic. I had this day that started out as you might expect. The previous day, I'd gone on a 7-win and 1-loss streak, and things were looking really good. Then the next day happened, and that was my worst day of Overwatch. I encountered some of the most questionable players in my month back in the game. These people were whiny or irritating, often they felt clueless to me, and eventually on maybe my 5th game into the session, I started out letting out, what I was thinking at these players. There was this one example I have where I was playing Genji and I'd been part of 4 kills on the enemy. I'd basically soloed 2 of them, 1 support, 1 DPS, something like that, and then I was actively part of killing the next 2. And I remember feeling like that was more than enough to take that capture point, which you'd imagine so, right? Well, it wasn't. And then after that, when we wiped, someone blamed the DPS and someone then blamed specifically me, like, oh, the Genji's not doing his job. And well, you know what I did, right? You know what I did? I started barraging this person with explanations on how he wasn't effectively healing. How, for example, I'd seen him run in and go for that slow mercy res in front of 3 enemies and obviously die instead of just healing when I needed healing and others needed healing. And we could have taken that point, because we'd killed most of them. There was just 2 of them left. But yeah. Whatever. How our Roadhog had gold healing, and when he's a mercy, he should have way more healing, or whatever. And I do think that player, now thinking back on it, yeah, he was playing poorly. In that specific match, he was playing poorly. And that maybe, yes, I had been part of 4 kills just prior, and I certainly believed I was pulling my weight, but there was just so much wrong with what I did in that situation. And as you can expect, yeah, I lost that game, and I lost the next one, and I lost the next one, because I was in a terrible mood, I was playing worse each single game, and I was arguing with people every single game. And that's when I called the stream. Yeah, I was streaming that, because I wasn't having any fun, and I was having issues with my team each round. And I remember Varian, one of my mods, I remember him saying in chat about how stressed I looked during, and that really bothered me as well. Like, I was like, damn, dude, I'm streaming, I'm supposed to be having a good time, I'm supposed to be learning, improving, and look at me. I'm just a goddamn ball of stress playing a video game. And that's why I'm making this video, because I realized I was the problem. And maybe some of you have had similar scenarios or feelings when you've been playing competitive Overwatch. And this is where I'm at with it. Here's how I feel. It doesn't matter if you or me or whoever are doing their role correctly. You can still lose a game if you're doing really well in it, especially at lower elo. Sometimes you just need to go out of your way for your team. I might have been getting good picks on that Genji, but if that Mercy isn't getting any healing out because for some reason she's mindlessly trying to res a Ryan and dying, then what can I do to fix that? I should be thinking, this guy's an idiot, this guy's not doing any healing, this guy's the reason we're losing. I'm wasting brain power at that point. What can I do to fix that? Could I be protecting her more as Genji, or swap to like Zarya for clutch bubbles when she's rezzing, or Roadhog, hook someone off, block, whatever, Orisa with a shield. Maybe we had tanks, so maybe I go Mei and freeze people who are attacking, etc. Could play anything, DPS to do that. But I could have been thinking about what I needed to do to give the team the best chance given the scenario and who I was with in that single match. And not just, well, I killed the support, so why did we lose? And I came to a realization. Every single time I'm putting effort into thinking the phrase, I don't know, our DPS aren't doing enough damage, or our healer isn't healing, they suck. Let alone voicing those opinions, like saying that to the person on voice, which is even worse because then they play worse. You're spending basically time and brain power on nothing, or basically things that are negative for your own game. You could be thinking about how to help the team, or what that weakness of the enemy is. Maybe their support's out of position a lot, or that McCree's somewhere in a dumb spot, we should abuse that. You could be thinking about backing up your Winston on that dive and helping kill whoever is attacking, you know, calling out, let's go on that guy. Or maybe being that extra DPS for your Roadhog when he hooks someone so that person actually dies. Or just, I don't know, just being a bouncer for your healers. You could be communicating where the enemy are, or even just going when to combo ultimates and where to do them and so on and so forth. And instead, I was thinking, whining, or complaining on mic about things everyone already knew. When I actively started to fight my little routine of these stupid, toxic, negative thoughts, or just voicing them, or just thinking them, I started to see real progress in my gameplay again. Here's a couple examples. I've come to the realization that my positioning has been super risky on characters like McCree, where, let's say my tanks die, and I needed to back the hell up, give my team more time to regroup, give the enemy more space, so if they do want to come on me, they really have to commit, they have to go so deep, and we should be able to punish that. Or let's say my Genji, I need to spend more time with my group of team rather than going on these crazy flanks, because let's say I run around all the way around the map and come up behind them and it takes 35 seconds. What's going on for 35 seconds while I'm doing this ridiculous flank? Well, my team is 5v6 and they're probably going to lose that fight because there's less of them than the enemy, especially at this elo. It's a waste of time. I'm not really being effective. What I could be doing is being in the group, reflecting a Moira orb or Junkrat bombs or fire strikes that are coming on my team or the shields, etc. Giving me ult charge, right? And denying the enemy of theirs. Those are just two examples of what was really bad about my gameplay that I've come to realize and improve from the moment I started going, where am I going wrong, rather than my team's going wrong. Each game, every game. And I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to say, oh, it's perfect now, I win every game, my teammates are amazing. I just don't get as upset anymore. But I still do get upset. I'm human, I'm not perfect. But I'm thinking about it more now. I stop myself, you know, I prevent myself from talking crap to that guy or fighting back when someone calls me out when I don't agree with them. I mute players when I need to, and what's super important, the most important, is that, well, I'm just not as stressed or upset after a bad game. When I have a bad game, it is what it is. That's the end of it. If it goes wrong, I can, I don't know, crack my hands or use a grip master for a little bit. Just think about what was bad about my gameplay there. Ask myself how I could have played better or been more of an impact on the game, and it honestly works a lot of the time. When I'm frustrated and mad or upset, I play a lot worse. I know I do. Having looked at my own gameplay from streams and stuff and seeing where I'm like upset or mad or whatever, I can see my aim is just so much worse. I can't deal with things anywhere near as good. And all it really takes for me to calm down is to find something to reset my mental state. Now, Exotic Panda gets credit for this because he used to be a professional hockey player, and in like that sports industry type thing, you see similar things, you know, to this similar competitive nature. You see people who get mad or upset about missing something or doing something wrong, and having something that calms them down. You can even do it midway through the round. So let's say things are going bad for me and we're swapping sides. As I mentioned, I take my hands and I crack my knuckles. I take a letter opener and just play around with it. I get this grip master and just work on that. And I'm not thinking about anything at all when I'm doing this. Just doing this thing. And then the next round begins and I feel like it's the first one. Or at very least, it's taken that stress and the edge off of my thoughts. The game, after all, is meant to be fun. But I do really care about improving. And it took me time to accept that improving comes with more, you know, you improve more when you lose compared to winning. When I lose, that's my chance to learn from it and be better. And when I win, yeah, I can still learn things, but you learn a lot less. And again, I'm currently at 2,600 plus SR once again. And, you know, if I win or I lose, I just have to be honest that it doesn't matter right now. I want to be Masters next season, so my improvements should be my main focus. I know I can get Diamond this season, but it doesn't matter. I need to get better at the game. I want to be better than Diamond, so I shouldn't worry about my SR. I should worry about my gameplay. So, yeah. There's my little discussion and story, I guess, on toxicity. And I hope that was useful or interesting to you. Do you have any advice from me, specifically me on this topic, or maybe I guess the viewers as well, if you're any of you reading the comments? Maybe you've got your own little trick to resetting your mental state after a bad game. Well, I know I'm in plat, and a lot of my viewers are probably higher ranked than me right now. They could give me a lot of useful advice, so a video like this could be really good for me if we see like a bit of discussion. And if you've got anything in terms of advice, then let me know. I'll be reading the comments. But yeah, thank you very much for watching and listening. I'll be back with more Overwatch soon. Some silly, dumb videos, I'm sure, from the ridiculous things I've seen in Gold and Plat, let me tell you. But if you want to check out my games live, I am streaming the games 5 days a week right now on my Twitch channel. And the link is in the description of every video, including this one. So, I hope to see you there sometime. But for now, goodbye. I'll see you next time.
Ajax's thing. Be weird, it inspires teamwork.
No.
Alright, here we go, Hollow. Let's try it out.
No. No.
Here we go. No, I have to.
No. No.
How big is everyone's penis?
Oh my god, you're gonna get fucking banned. Oh my god. What is wrong with Look at the chat.
You heard me. I'm asking for a friend though.
What the fuck is wrong with you?